When I was a kid, my favourite game on the Wii was My Sims. You started in an empty rundown town and had to rebuild houses and bring the town back to life. My Sims also had a sequel, My Sim Kingdom, where you got to travel to all sorts of crazy lands. 19 years later, I'm very nostalgic for these games, and I think they have had a huge influence over my own project. I just love the idea of being able to restore something once lost and broken. In this toy box world, I've had an idea about entering a constructor mode and being able to choose all kinds of options for each part of what you're dreaming up. I'll set up a new scene with a cube and I'll plop it into place using an animation player. I'm going to use an orthogonal camera to match the look of simulation and management games of the 90s. Once inside an area 3D, we can enter the constructor mode. We're going to need some stairs to reach the castle. In Blender, I put together this colourful staircase, and to change its look, I can recolour its texture sheet. For the buttons, I can render out each option and add black, yellow and green outlines in Clip Studio Paint for when we hover or click one. To give the idea that this is coming from your imagination, I've drawn up this fluffy cloud. I'll duplicate and flip this texture a few times and fade between them. To know where we can build something, let's put together some ruins, and I've given it a gritty pixelated texture. We can now dream up a new set of stairs to reach the castle. I think we should have a new NPC to introduce us to this whole imagination and creation mechanic. I'll base him off my dear friend Rob from Florida. And I think he should be a big, lovely polar bear in a floral shirt, as Rob loves flowers. I shall call him Floral Rob. I'll use my NPC template and place him in front of the construction site. Before, I've coded my NPCs to speak one line and then end the conversation. I've recently found out about the function await getTree.createTimer.timeout. Adding this line to your script can allow you to create a whole sequence of events. It will flow down, wait, then continue. I'll add this to Rob to change what his text box says, and now we have a real conversation going. But wait! We can add anything to the sequence, including new camera angles. Next up, let's give Floral Rob an animated model. I'm not used to modelling clothing, so his shirt took some trial and error to get right. I'll give him a fuzzy face and yellow flowers onto his shirt. Now in Godot, I can give him toon shading with black outlines. I've drawn a few facial expressions to make him blink and open his mouth. For his voice, I found a nice bear noise from Zapsplat. I can plug this into an audio stream randomizer. I'll add a new variable for how many times he should make a sound. Once his audio stream has finished, it will emit a signal to take one talk point away, and start playing again. Now we have a new friendly face to meet on the island. We now have all the systems in place for construction, giving NPCs sequences of dialogue and a better way for them to vocalise. Blacksmith Wood could do with a touch-up. I'll give his tent new sturdy supports and new chimney options, and I just have to recolour its texture sheets to give it some customisation. I can duplicate the stair constructor we've just made and replace the stairs with the blacksmith workshop. In Blender, I'll render out each option and place them into the dream bubble. Now our NPCs can emote. I'll give Blacksmith Wood a more neutral face, with versions for his eyes closed and eyes opened. I've been using this amazing library of human sounds from Little Robot Sound Factory on OpenGameArt. I've taken a few into Audacity and trimmed them down, as we will need short sounds for our new vocalization system. Now I can copy the block of code from Rob and replace the bear sounds
with deep, manly sounds.
Hey!
A while ago, I redid the UV mapping for our player night, and now his textures are all messed up. I think this is a good opportunity to touch up the look of his armour. I've made his rainbow heart look more like glass, and added some shine to the ridges around his suit. Now he's ready for adventure! The stairs and workshop have both been constructions to help friends, but maybe there could be giant constructions that you'll need to unlock by building up imagination. I'll add a new dream points value to the list of global variables, and I've made a little dream bubble to place on the HUD. I think our first giant construction should be the Ferris wheel on the Grand Pier. Here are 4 colour schemes to pick from, and I can add different accessories for the seats. Now to render out each option again. I'm going to make a ruined broken wheel that's fallen into the ocean. To build up imagination points, we can do fun things around the world, like bounce on this bouncy castle. And once we've finished building the wheel, we can take a relaxing ride. This was a massive update to my project, and now it's feature complete for a playable demo. I'll have to work on adding gamepad support, polishing up everything, and setting up a Steam page. Before we start working all that, next time I'm going to be creating a soundtrack for my game. Subscribe to keep updated on Bouncy Kingdoms. And a massive thank you to my wonderful Patreon supporters.